I'm on board my 5th Holland America cruise, but this is my first time on one of Holland America's older cruise ships. Yes, this ship is almost 15 years old. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing my first impressions, as well as answering some of the most common questions that people had about Holland America, including what are some things that make Holland America different from other cruise lines. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now firstly, can you hear that amazing sound of the ocean? I apologize for, well, if the sound is muffled at all, but I really do think that the benefit of the ocean outweighs that. In any case, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my first impressions of Holland America, New Amsterdam. We're on board for a 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise. It's not only my first time on this cruise ship, but it's actually my first time doing this itinerary in almost 50 cruises. Now, just to let you know, this is not a full review of our cruise. We're on day 3 of our sailing, and tomorrow we're heading into our first Mexican port. So at the end of our cruise, I will gather all of my thoughts on everything, and I will share a full review with you. And Holland America has invited us on this cruise. However, all opinions, as always, are my own. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Our first impressions of the cruise ship. Now, honestly, because this ship is 15 years old, I was expecting it to be maybe just in not such good condition, but this is one of the things that surprised me. As soon as we boarded the cruise ship, the public areas are absolutely gorgeous. They're kind of gleaming and really in very good condition. Now, in particular, the atrium is absolutely beautiful. The main pool area is really nice. I think it has 4 hot tubs, a nice large pool in the center, and it has a retractable roof. Now, the prior cruises that I've done with Holland America have been on their Pinnacle class, so Rotterdam, New Statendam, and Koningsdam, which I have to say are some of my absolute favorite cruise ships. But this ship still has a lot of those same elements that I love, including Dive In, which is a burger and hot dog restaurant that is at the main pool. Now, we have a balcony cabin on deck 7, and the balcony cabin is very nice. And now, the color scheme is a darker wood than I think you'd see on more modern cruise ships, but it's still very well kept and very nice. Now, when it comes to the bathroom in the cabin, I think that is one area where you can see its age, just in terms of the color scheme, as well as the fact that it does have that plastic shower curtain that I know we all don't love. But it does have a bathtub, which I think is good. Now, I am curious about your thoughts. If you had the choice between a bathtub or a glass shower door, which is the winner for you? I still think that I'm more of a glass shower door girl, but the bathtub is definitely nice.
This is the captain with the noontime navigation and weather update.
Now you can feel like you're on the cruise with me. Now, what has the food been like? Well, the food has been really good. And in a minute, I am going to answer the biggest question that people had, which was, what is Holland America really like, and what does it do differently than other cruise lines? So, starting with the food, one of the things that I really like on Holland America is the fact that it has a full serve buffet. So normally I tend to kind of not go to the buffet that much, but on Holland America I find the selection is really good, the taste is good, and I also like the fact that, of course, it is a full serve buffet. So for lunch on embarkation day, I went and picked up some sushi and some cheese and bread, and Frank and Ethan both had some Asian dishes. Now, the food overall has been really good to excellent. The first night of our cruise, we went to Pinnacle. I like to do a specialty restaurant the first night usually, so we did that. The steak was excellent, and by the way, the atmosphere is so nice on this cruise ship for Pinnacle, and the service was amazing. Now, we actually had breakfast on our balcony the first morning, just a little light breakfast, and that's another thing that Holland America does that some of the other cruise lines don't have. Now, they do have a free continental room service breakfast menu, the way a lot of other cruise lines have. Not all of them have it, but you know, some of them do have it. But they also have a hot breakfast option as well. So they have different yogurts available if you like something that is cold, but they also have eggs, bacon, and more. Now, interestingly, they also have a room service menu that is available like all day. I think maybe if it's late at night, there might be an additional fee, but there are many options, including club sandwiches and chicken soup and cake and things like that that are available throughout the day at no extra cost. Now, I'm going to share with you more about what makes Holland America different, at least from our perspective. But first, I did want to answer some of the specific questions about this cruise and our stay. So when it comes to San Diego, how many days in advance should you come for this particular cruise? Well, personally, I think if you can spend 2 days before your cruise, you're going to get acclimated in terms of the time difference. If you do have a time difference, for us, it was 3 hours. And we actually flew into LA 4 days before the cruise, spent 2 days in LA, and then took the train over to San Diego. So we had a day and a half to spend here, and it has been beautiful. Really nice city, really walkable, which is great. And one of the things that we did is we stayed at the San Diego Westin Gaslamp Hotel. So that's the location or the district. This was a perfect location to walk everywhere. But the other thing was we actually walked over to the cruise port in the morning. It happened to be that there was something going on in the area that made it that some of the roads were actually closed. So it was like a 15-minute walk, and my luggage is pretty good and easy to walk with. So this made it perfect. Now, I had several questions about the Mexican cruise ports and safety. We did not go to the ports yet, so I will actually include information about that in a future video. But what I can tell you is that I've met several people on this cruise that have done several Mexican Riviera cruises, and they told me that it's absolutely fine. And something to keep in mind is we're going to the tourist areas, and personally, I didn't find LA to be a problem. I did not go downtown, I will tell you that. And I did take Ubers if we were going anywhere further. And San Diego was absolutely fine, at least in the area that we were. And I expect that Mexico will be the same. All right, so what are some of the things that make Holland America different from some other cruise lines? And I think the important thing, whether it's Holland America or any cruise line, is just to find the cruise line and even the cruise ship that fits what you have in mind for that vacation. So in particular with Holland America, one of the things we noticed when we boarded this cruise ship, but I've noticed this on other Holland America cruises as well, is right away, it's a very relaxed vibe. It's very pleasant, it's very enjoyable, but it's not a loud, boisterous type of cruise vacation experience. Now, as an example, when you're at the pools, either the main pool or the back pool, which is lovely, by the way, incredible wake views, but while there is some music, it's not super loud, so you can actually hear yourself talking, or you can read a book, and you're just not going to have that louder, sometimes noisier environment that you might find on some other cruise ships. All right, let's talk about the cabin and housekeeping. Now, one of the things that I love on Holland America is the fact that they have twice a day daily housekeeping, and you actually have 2 cabin attendants. So I think it's actually one main cabin attendant and an assistant, but they're so good, so service orientated, and really not only is your cabin obviously kept clean and your towels refreshed as you need them, but you really do feel taken care of. The food and the main dining room. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I find the food to be really good on this cruise. In fact, last night was the formal or the dressy night, and we went to the main dining room. The choices were excellent. I had a filet with shrimp, and so did Frank. And Ethan had rack of lamb. We all agreed it was excellent. Now, something that you'll find on Holland America is you do have a couple of options when it comes to dining. One of them is that you could choose traditional dining. So if you want to eat early or later, so I think that would probably be about like 5:30 or 6 o'clock, or like around 8:30 or so. Those are 2 options that are available. But they do have open or anytime dining as well. And you can sit with just your own party if you like, but you can also sit with others and make new friends. And what has the entertainment been like? Now, on Holland America, the focus we found from all of our, 5 cruises so far, is really on the music. So if you are a music lover, I think this is something you're really going to like about Holland America, and the focus is also on enrichment. Now, that being said, we went to a show last night. It was called, I think it was just called 70 Show, or maybe it was called Solid Gold. Yeah, that was really good. Unfortunately, due to copyright, we weren't able to film, but I was able to film a little bit as people were dancing toward the end to ABBA, and this was definitely a show that was appreciated by the guests. Now, when it comes to activities, I think I'm a little bit boring, because one of the things that I like to do is kind of just sit by the pool. I think it's the Canadian in me. I want to soak up the sun whenever I'm on holiday. But there definitely are a variety of things to do during the day on a Holland America cruise. Now, one of them in terms of organized activities are like painting classes and other craft classes. Of course, there's trivia, there's bingo, all of the things. And like I mentioned, some different talks and lectures, which are all part of the enrichment focus. Now, speaking of relaxing, something that is absolutely beautiful on this cruise ship is the spa. They've got an absolutely beautiful therapy pool area and spa in general, so you can purchase that spa package if you want for the entire week or for just the day. I think that what Frank and I are going to do is on the last sea day, we're going to purchase that for the day. But something that they do have that I think is pretty cool on this ship in particular is they have a sauna that's actually free for anyone to use. Now, before I share with you one more thing that makes Holland America different, I did want to share with you something, especially if you are heading on this cruise or any Mexican Riviera cruise. We were told that the sunsets are just amazing. So we actually, after going to like the sail away party, we went to our balcony and we actually picked up some cheese and some charcuterie from the buffet, which is my little cruise tip. Go ahead and do that at any time. But we actually went out to our balcony. We had some champagne on our balcony, and we watched what I think is the most stunning sunset that I have ever seen. It might have been, I don't know, it was just a perfect sail away, just beautiful. Who is cruising on this cruise ship? What is the age demographic? Now, this is often a question that's asked, not only for Holland America, but I think for every cruise line. People are always a little bit interested in this. So Holland America is definitely a great cruise line for mature travelers, but we find there's actually quite a mix of different age groups. There are even a few families on board and a few children. And by the way, the main pool, children are allowed to go there, but there's really only a few. But the pool at the back of the cruise ship is adult only, which leads me to traditional cruising. And I think that that's a big difference that Holland America has compared to some other cruise lines. So if you are somebody who loves the idea of those traditional elements of cruising that you've always loved, one of the things that I really like about Holland America is that you're still going to have them, from room service to twice a day housekeeping to just the kind of service, you know, that makes a cruise really feel like a vacation, to very good to excellent food in the main dining room buffet. And also, by the way, I have to talk in a future video about all of the casual dining, because it is really good on Holland America. But this is all something that you'll find on a Holland America cruise ship. Now, like I mentioned, there will be a full video review to come. So any other questions that you have that I can answer, leave them down in the comments below, please. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.